We're going to get into our very last topic here. One of the things that Jay-Z said in his neck and wrist verse is about people spending real money on fake watches inexplicably.
Shocking.
Shockingly. Oh yeah, he's like, y'all, they mentioned me with these people inexplicably. They spend real money on fake watches shockingly.
Was a G-Shock reference. I don't know why. I feel like it's something in there.
I'm sure it is. But I brought that up to go right into a smooth transition, as I always do. You wanted to discuss people that wear fake clothes, so take it away.
The reason why is because, well, it's funny that he said that in that verse because I only got inspired because of tweets and it takes like that's usually a lot of my inspiration for this pod because I'm just tired of the things I see online. I just be getting like very cringed out. I'm like, I feel like I'm the only normal person in this world. I feel like a lot of people are weird and feel and think weird, but whatever. But yeah, like Jay-Z said, people really be spending real money on fake things, and I just don't understand that because it's like, for me, I just want to get to the root of it because there's one thing to go on Shein, right, and buy something that's the same silhouette. Because sometimes the silhouettes do be hard. Like Bottega bags, I think are fire. And a lot of people might not be able to afford that, right? And I know the mentality is, if you can't afford it, then it's too bad. But that's the thing, though. Like, you might like the silhouette. And I feel like designer brands don't own a silhouette. So I'm fine
Yes,
with...
they do.
They do?
Yes, usually those...
Well, some of them might patent it. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure all of them do.
But some of them are so common that it's like you kind of can't patent certain shapes. Like, they are so common, you know? Like, I've seen, like, certain shapes. But then again, I don't know, a lot of bags... Yeah, I mean, there's certain bags that you kind of... Like, everybody has, like, a little shoulder bag with a circle. Everybody has the fanny pack. Like, I've seen the same bags across multiple companies. So, like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not defending them at all. I'm just saying I respect people who rather just do the silhouette and that's it. What I don't respect is people who go to DHgate or any other site and buy the stuff that actually looks like it. Like, they'll buy like, you say, oh, I like the Jordan 1 silhouette, which is patented. You can say you like that, but then you buying the shoe with the swoop and everything and, like, to literally try to replicate it, like a replica. So I think that's more the word replica, not a dupe, right? Replica is probably the better word. I don't respect people who buy replicas. Because it's like, this might sound bad, but I don't even care. I mean, it doesn't even sound bad. This is just a fact. If you, like, you had to earn the right to wear that stuff, in my opinion. And that's just how life works. If that stuff is expensive, like, we had this conversation before, it's not meant for you. Clearly. $1,000 bags aren't meant for the average everyday person. Whoa. Get us out of an apartment life. I can't anymore. But yeah, it's like these designer brands and these luxury brands are made for people who could afford that freely. There's people out there who buy Louis Vuitton bags the same way we buy. I don't know what's like a good example. Same way we buy like
a t-shirt,
sneakers, maybe like $200 sneakers, a t-shirt. Like, for them, it's nothing, and that's who it's for. It's not for us. Like, we had this conversation before. It's not even for us. So the fact that you're going out your way to try to make it look like it's for you is kind of weird because it's like, just buy something else, you know? There's nothing wrong with buying stuff that you could afford.
Let me jump in here too. Aside from the luxury part, people buy fakes for everything, right? So yeah. For me, even because I understand people's frustrations.
People buying fake Skims. That's not even crazy. Luxury. Skim dupes on Shein. It's like Skims is not that expensive. It's really not.
Because like, I understand a lot of people's frustrations with resellers and people buying shoes for the purpose of selling them at a higher price. I do understand that, but also at the same time, the reason why people are even able to do that is you got to place the blame on you. Well, them too, but you also have to put the blame on Nike. Nike, if they wanted to, they know that they have an endless demand for people wanting the Chicago ones. They're never going to do that because then it's going to devalue it, and they know that people won't buy the Chicago ones anymore. It takes the appeal away because part of the reason why people even want the Chicago ones is because people want the Chicago ones.
And they're harder to get.
Yeah, and because they're harder to get. So they know that. So if you want to put the blame on anybody, put it on Nike.
But you had to also put the blame on the consumers because sneaker reselling always was kind of crazy, but the numbers were not what we're seeing now. When we were in college and nobody was really caring for sneakers as much, like the sneakerhead group was such a niche back when we was in school. It was like a cult. And it's either you cared about it or you didn't. Now it's so diluted. Like every time I go to the mall, I literally gag. I'm like, look at all these. I'm like, Jordans, Yeezy. I'm like, it was not like this a few years ago. It was not, right? When we were in college, this is what you saw. Half people was wearing that, other half was wearing shoes from H&M. There was like no in between, or like Sperry's and stuff and Vans. There was like no in between, you know? Not everybody's wearing sneakers. You had like, there was some type of weird shift that happened where it got cool. For you're a Valley girl, you see these girls are wearing Jordans with the same like American Eagle fits that they was wearing before, but now instead of wearing tennis shoes, they got Jordans. You know, they swapped them out. So there was a surge, and all these fake sneakerheads appeared out of the blue.
Yeah,
and they make me itch.
But for me, again, it still goes back to Nike, because there wouldn't be
of course,
resellers couldn't exist. The reason why resellers exist is because there's just a limited, there's no supply. So if Nike just, because let me tell you something, Nike knows for 100% fact that 100,000 people will buy the Chicago ones, but they'll never make them, even though they know that's guaranteed money.
Clearly, there's a reason they're doing that, because it's like, why would they not just take not free money, but why would they not take money? I think they do it because they want to keep that. They want to keep that image and that prestige that comes around shoes. Because
but
it is, why should they? It's almost like, why should designer brands cheapen their prices? Like, why should Nike make shoes more available? Either you got them or you didn't. That's a part of the game.
But as we clearly seen with Yeezys, they've been able to still be coveted by everybody and still have high quantity production.
But that's because he wanted to do that, though. Remember, Kanye always kept that on. That was always what he stood by, was I want to make my shoe the new Roche.
But Nike could do the same thing.
But they don't want to.
Right.
Yeah, so they shouldn't have to. Like, if they want their shoe to feel like a limited thing, then that's on them.
I don't particularly care.
But I respect that. Like, I feel like that's kind of cool for your brand to be something that's so highly sought after that people are literally paying that for your shoes. Like, that's a flex, and they might want that. Like, nah, if you got them or you didn't, like, wait for the next colorway. Or, because they do make other colorways like readily available. They do. So anybody who wants to wear a Jordan, they could get a Jordan. You could go to Foot Locker right now and go get a Jordan. But there's certain, you can.
You ain't getting Jordan 1s.
You might get a certain colorway. That's not every single colorway sells out. Literally, you go on the website and get a certain colorway. Go ahead.
Let's go check that right
now.
Maybe
I'm wrong, but I feel like there's definitely ones that have Finish Line, East Bay.
All those companies are owned by Foot Locker.
Oh.
It's all one giant conglomerate.
So that's still their like source.
Jordan 1s. They have Jordan 1 mids.
Okay, it's still one.
And that's it. And they're in grade school sizes.
Okay. A lot of people wear it in grade school. No.
Yeah, you're not getting Jordans. Sorry. It's over. They got the Jordan Zion, the Zion Williamson ones.
Okay, but you can still get other Jordans. Maybe not the one.
Yeah, you're not. Well, even you can't get anything.
But
now.
Even any Jordan
like
1 though, if you go on Fight Club, anything, they're still not expensive.
Come on, don't do that. We're not doing that.
No, that's like my point though. It's like there's certain shoes out there that are easily accessible. There's certain colorways that don't sell out immediately at all. Like they'll be on the site for days. But obviously they know shoes like the Chicago ones. They know the Off-White collab. They know certain colorways.
Like what? You have any specific examples? Because I'm pretty sure that nothing Jordan 1 sits at all anymore.
For real? Yeah. Well, now now it doesn't, because everybody just buys
even
whatever.
Before it didn't. This is now kind of, which is funny. I think that there's more people that want the shoes now. It's more people want the shoes now, but this has been common even before this, like where you can't go walk into a store and buy a Jordan.
I don't know, like I don't remember people lining up for just every color shoe.
Jordan's on a Saturday. That used to be the thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, whenever you hear those news stories about people getting killed, it was like the wolf grays or whatever. It was like random. It was like I still remember, what's that one shoe? It was like the 11 or something.
Mm-hmm.
What are they called?
People, there was a Concord. The Concord,
yeah, that people were dying. Like, I don't know if that's someone died from that, but it was like, those are specific colors I remember in my head, because like that was people, like, I still talk to people back then that were into shoes, and those are specific colors I remember like them buying or them wanting to get. Not every color it has that hype. Like, you know that. Like, there's certain stuff where everybody's like, oh, these are dropping after this many years. Like, even Shattered Backboards has some hype.
Well, it's different now because these colorways that exist now didn't exist before.
Yeah, and most of them are ugly now. I hate all the colors.
That's the thing. So back then it was
pretty much. The worst thing was those tie-dye ones. Oh my God.
Pretty much everything was hyped. back then because there weren't all these different colorways.
That is true. Yeah.
The cool grays
and the drops weren't as frequent. Well, they were kind of frequent.
It was every Saturday, but they were dropping like one or two particular Jordans every Saturday. But the colorways that were coming out were all like the old ones. Like the Space Jams came out in like 96. So when they came out again, it was like all that stuff was hype. Now all these new colors and you got these 11s that are red and white. Like that was never a thing.
There's too many colors now.
Because when they used to retro the Jordans, they used to only be like retro. Like they were retro. They were only things that came out like mad long ago. Now they're just dropping new colorways every week, and that's why.
But that's why it's not as serious anymore. Like certain colorways. Like people rally on the internet when a retro is coming back, or like when it's a certain colorway.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something specific, but basically,
no, like I said, like shattered backboards, or like what was the ones that everybody was obsessing over? The blue, like it was like that.
Shattered backboards was a long time ago.
No, I know, but what was the ones recently that everybody was obsessing over? It's like that ice blue color.
Ice blue.
What was the stupid shit called? I wasn't even keeping. Everybody was obsessed with
the university blue.
No, but it looked like that. Oh God, I should know this stuff.
The UNCs, Royals,
wasn't it
Obsidians?
Obsidians, that one. See, I don't be caring because it's like ew. But everybody, everybody wanted these Obsidians. Everybody wanted ones, and then the UNC patent ones too. But everybody wanted these Obsidians. And that was like one of the last times I kind of seen like a really hype around the color. But the crazy thing is, look at resale. It's still not that. I mean, it's kind of high, but it's not that crazy.
It is high.
No, it's high. Yeah,
it's extremely high. But basically, long story short,
it probably went down because when everybody wanted these, they were a lot higher than this. Obviously, a Dior one like that was like that's when you see people actually talking about it. Like I don't see anybody talking about any like these random drops that happen, like these other colorways that people don't really care about because there's so many colorways.
Well, no matter what, it all sells out.
Like you said, they still sell out. And like you said, it's not like maybe I'm wrong about them sitting on for days, but it's not like they sell out immediately. Like with certain colorways, you go on the website and the site crash and it's gone already. Like the same second, like a millisecond. You're not getting that same experience for every color. Even though now everything's like a raffle, which is
Basically, let's pull it back to the topic at hand. I think that people buy a lot of the stuff because it's just not I think that they would be willing to spend the money on because let's be very clear, replicas are expensive. They're not cheap. They're almost like the same retail price as the shoe itself.
Very true. Some replicas are expensive. Some of them though, some.
Yeah. So I think people are willing to spend the money on retail for the shoes that are coming out. They just can't access them, and now they're not going to pay $2,000 for the shoe that was $200 like a day ago.
I'm not really talking about them.
Well, that's why people buy reps a lot.
But at the same time, it's almost like that's just like you kind of
you just didn't get it.
Yeah, you gotta. What's the word? You gotta like put it to the game, whatever. Like
charge it to
the game. That's like a wrong term because that's more so like the dating game. But I mean, it's still a valid thing. Charge it to the game. It's like that's how the sneaker game's been for years. And the resale market thing is kind of relatively new. Like it wasn't as easy as it is now to just go on GOAT, StockX. Like they didn't. That wasn't a thing when we were younger. So it's like you just kind of got it. Like it's almost like, oh well, you just didn't get the shoe. And I know people might be like, well, that's not fair. It's like, well, that's his life. Like that Nike did it for a reason. It's kind of like that's the whole point. Like you either get them or you don't. Or sometimes you just gotta wait till the next time they drop. A shoe like what I'm wearing now, the off-white ones, probably never dropping again. Especially with Virgil gone, right? You could agree that's done. But other shoes, well, they usually drop again. It might be a few years from now, but it's like you might just gotta wait your turn, or wait till you get your money up to buy the resale price. Like I don't know. I feel like no matter what, to go down to getting replicas, it's like because it's like why. At the end of the day, like that was a valid reason, but it's like
no, it's still why because
it's still the deep rooted why. Like that's like we talked about this before. You have to keep asking why. It's like, well, why did you? It's like why are you buying this? It's like, well, I can't afford the full price. It's like, well, if you can't afford it, then why get a fake version of it? He's like, because I like it. It's like, well, if you like it, then why not? get the money for the real ones. If you really like it, you would support the designer that made it, right? Like, would you support them and put money in their pockets? And it's funny, that's what's the argument. Oh, these people make so much money. Why would I put more money in their pockets? Then why you want to buy something that they designed from their brand? Like, you clearly like them. And you're still putting money in their pockets low key, because it's still not directly, but kind of like indirectly. Because these brands, the more you're wearing their stuff, they're getting promo from you wearing it. Free promo, basically. So it's like the why. And I feel like, for me, I feel like the root of it a lot of times is just to make it look like you have money. And it's like, why? Like, for me, I can't understand making it look like you having it and not actually having it. But then there's like a small niche of people who got money and still buy reps just because they're like super cheap. There is like a niche out there.
I don't care what I don't know. I don't care what reason you buy it. You just shouldn't do it.
You like
for one, it's stealing. It's stealing intellectual property. You wouldn't like if you had a company and somebody was ripping you off.
Yeah.
2, you're buying it because of what?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you can't afford the actual price,
or if you don't want to pay the full price and you can afford it, then just don't buy it.
Then it's not for you. Then, if you feel like that's too expensive, you want to buy a cheap version of it, then it was never for you.
And unfortunately, that's the way the world works. Is that
people think they're too entitled to everything that this world has to offer, and it's like that's just not how it works. It sounds good that we all could just buy whatever and wear whatever, but it's like clearly there's like a coveted group that buys those things, and clearly you want to be included in that group. You had to ask yourself, why do I care so much to be included in that group that I'm buying a fake version of it?
I don't mean to sound insensitive by bringing this up, but like over 50 people just got blown up in Ukraine the other day, right? Nobody is entitled to anything. Those people were entitled to live, and they got blown up.
Yeah.
So like
that's his life.
And that's a crazy comparison for what we're talking about here. But in general, like there's a lot of things. People shouldn't die of starvation. People shouldn't die of water when there's water everywhere, and we could give out water.
And you're arguing about wanting to have a designer for that to be accessible to you for what?
Yeah, for what? Like it's not.
So you could wear a monochrome belt that says LV all over it, or that you could wear a monochrome bag.
Monogram.
Oh, sorry, monogram.
I was like, they dropped the black and white ones.
Shut up. I'm mad. This hat is big as make my brains.
Yeah, like.
But yeah, so you can wear a monogram Gucci shirt for what? So people would think you have Gucci. And the funny thing is, those people will say they buy reps and they probably would do it. But now, if someone came up to you in person and was like, "Oh, I love your Gucci bag," you be like, "Thanks." Like, obviously, you're not gonna be like, "Oh, thanks, it's fake." Like, you might not say that, but it's like those people. I know 9 times out of 10, those people wouldn't, like, if somebody asked them, they'll lie and say it was real.
Or would be embarrassed if they got called out.
They would be embarrassed if they got called out. Yeah, it's like if you're so proud of it, then don't get so embarrassed. Because that probably is embarrassing, right? I'm sure it's happened so many times.
They would never buy fakes and they go walk around a sneaker con.
No, they probably would.
I'm sure somebody bought that, has done that as a prank.
Probably.
Wearing fakes to a sneaker convention.
Yeah. And it's just so cringe, though. It's so cringe. And then sometimes you could tell, too. People be buying horrible fakes. Like, it's like, why are your Gucci flip-flops, like, bent into the ground? Like, they just look crazy. And it's just, like, at the end of the day, just, like, why not feel like I earned this? Like you said, we talked about this in the podcast before, like, rentals. Yes.
Come on. Bring it to me. Let them know what I said.
Rental cars. It's like, why not have that feeling like I earned the right to be in this car, but you just renting it, and then for the day you're faking it, you don't feel whack driving around Miami and faking it, because you know it's a fake. They doing that so people could think that is their car. It's oh my god, it's so cringe. It just makes me feel icky. It's like you do all that to fly Spirit back into your 1-bedroom 600 square foot apartment in the hood. Like, so what did you get out of that? One day feeling like you got it, and like people be like, oh well, life's short. Let people enjoy things. It's not about letting people enjoy things. It's about, did you earn the right to enjoy those things? Like, these people who are rich and drive those cars and have the experiences, they earn that. What did you do to earn that? Scam? Do bank scams?
And before
I Am Academy and scammed all these money hungry people.
Most millionaires are self-made. Just in case anybody's listening and thinks that there's people that have had it handed. Yeah. Those people do exist, but for the most part, millionaires that exist, and you can have money and not be a millionaire, but most of the millionaires that exist are self-made,
and that's why it's the most now more than ever, and the most new. And
self-made means that their parents they didn't inherit their millions. So for anybody that's unclear on that too.
And the thing is, like, yeah, people do get handed money, but a lot of that's what Kim was saying. A lot of people, they do get handed money, but they don't maintain it. And it's like a lot. I'm talking about like the old, older people who are in their, people who are in their 60s and 50s spending that money. And the young people who are self-made millionaires. They earned that. They worked hard. They took sacrifices. They made risks. They did, they contributed to society in some way. What'd you do? Complain on Twitter? Not do a single thing towards your career? Like, people always wanted this money to just hand it to them, and they just think they deserve. Oh, I deserve luxury. Why? What do you do to deserve luxury? And people have different definitions of what luxury is. Like, they'll say, "Oh, luxury for me is getting my nails done." Okay, so what did you do to deserve designer? What did you do to deserve a nice car? Because if you're real humble and it's like, "Oh, that stuff doesn't matter," then a Honda will do, right? Why do you need a Lambo? I deserve the Lambo. Why? Why do you deserve the Lambo? What did you do to deserve the Lambo? Sleep till 1 o'clock every day and complain about your 4-hour shift at Waffle House. You know that was coming. But
Thank you guys for watching.
But for real, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Like, that's the bottom line about dupes and reps. What did you do to actually deserve the real thing and to wear that?
And for any kids that buy that stuff because they really, really can't afford it,
yeah,
it's the same thing. Like,
it's still the same thing.
You in your young age, if you're doing that, it's not setting the right precedent for how you're going to be successful in the future either.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
because that's the thing. As a young age, the motivation to get those things was what pushed me. Like, oh, I'm gonna get my Louis Vuitton bag one day. So it pushed me to get my own stuff from a young age.
I want my Tesla. We were just talking about my Tesla earlier.
Yeah.
I could go buy my Tesla. I just don't feel like I earned, and I have the money to pay for it.
You just don't
in
feel
cash.
like you earned that yet to buy it comfortably.
I just don't feel like, I just feel like I haven't earned it. It's like I barely even have had my own car that I have now for as long as I've had. Like, I just don't feel that way. So for young people, if there's any young people listening to this, I would assume
that's
not.
their argument. Like, oh, I'm 16. How am I supposed to afford real Gucci?
You just
then
don't.
wait until you can.
Yeah, you just don't. Like, that's the other thing too.
I was wearing Karmaloop when I was 16. Relax, you'll get there.
I was wearing even cheaper stuff than that, and that's the crazy part. I think that
Karmaloop was kind of crazy.
People might have this perception of how I dress now, or like this came very quickly. Like, even like maybe sophomore or junior year of being in college, and for you guys that don't have that perspective, it might have been like 4, 5, 6 years ago.
5 years.
5 years ago, right. Which really wasn't a long time ago, but
6 years.
Yeah, whenever it was, I wasn't wearing what I was wearing even at that point. Like, you really do have to work and get yourself in certain positions to be able to afford those kind of things, like, and be okay with it. Like, you're not just going to wake up and be 14 years old wearing Rick Owens every day. Like, it's just not going to happen. And that's okay.
And these young kids, it's just what they're exposed to. They think they deserve that at that age. Like, no, you don't.
But also, they deal with the pressure more than we do because that's what they see every day.
And kids got their parents who will buy them that stuff, and they go into school and they get clowned by those same people.
We didn't have TikTok in college.
So even in college, I was wearing some H&M shoes and was still confident walking around like I was popping
because it didn't matter as much back then.
Yeah, I didn't care. But now I would be so self-conscious, even on the college campus, thinking, oh, someone's probably seen what shoes I got on.
So I do understand it, but like the thing about it is you have to keep your head down and keep working until you get in that position. And then eventually, if you keep doing that, you'll be able to laugh at all the people that were laughing at you before.
Yeah, that's how I am now. All the people that was laughing at me saying stuff, I laugh at them every day. It's
because you're a loser.
They're baby mamas and they still live in Peaburg and they're fat and ugly. And they made fun of my body. So that's why I'm calling them fat, 'cause they made fun of my body. Now it's, oh my God, body goals. What do you do in the gym? I don't do nothing. It's genetics. I just started going back to the gym in 6 months.
Yeah.
Now it's, oh my God, you're so fly. But you was making fun of my army pants that I was wearing. I was wearing camel pants 10 years ago before it was trendy. And you guys was laughing at it. But now it's, fashionable. And now you wearing camel pants. But yeah, that's the bottom line. Like, that's what kids gotta learn too. Like the idea of earning things. Like, everybody wants things handed to them, and they don't realize, they see all these like rich people online who flex and stuff. They don't realize a lot of them earned it. Like, they'll compare themselves to like YouTubers. Like, you could say, oh, Diara didn't earn that. It's like, yeah, she did. She was her and Ken were making those videos every day. That takes effort. Like, we see YouTube is hard sometimes. That takes effort to come up with ideas and get up and film every day, right? Film a whole day. And they was posting videos like every day. Like, they was very real consistent with it in the beginning. They earned that. They were doing what most people wouldn't. And they could have easily just made excuses about, oh, they got work, they got stuff. You know, in the beginning, they had to work. They didn't have no income from YouTube. They could easily make excuses. I don't got time for videos. I don't got time for this. So, Aaliyah J, she's been relevant on YouTube and Instagram and everything for the last like 10 years. It's like all these people could have easily made excuses and not been posting more, not doing anything. And they be up while you was on Twitter all day. They're posting, they're creating content, they're doing things, And it's like people have this mentality that they think that them who don't even do the half of what those people do, that they deserve the same things. No, you don't deserve the same things. And that's just how life works. Like, what's wrong? Like, if you at the end of the day you care about what you need in life, and how, people be like, oh, everybody has a right to clothing. Yeah, everybody does have a right to clothing, but not everybody has a right to luxury and designer clothing. Like, get your shirt from Walmart. Walmart is perfectly fine for comfort and quality. You don't need Louis Vuitton. You don't deserve or earn the Louis Vuitton.
This is not a Walmart ad.
It's not a Walmart ad, but I'm just saying. That's when people's excuses like, oh, who are you to say what people deserve? Don't you sound elitist thinking you deserve designer? $1,000 bag, why do you deserve that? Could you got up today? Could you went to your job? You think you deserve that now? But you don't do anything on your free time to elevate your career? Like, when I was talking to, what's the name the other day? Oh no, that wasn't it. I was talking to somebody. Oh, when I just went to the Greek event. When I was at dinner, I was talking to the girl who was at dinner with us, and she was asking me what I do, and then she was saying how she's trying to learn how to code and stuff because she wants to go into tech. I'm like, see, that's good. Like, most people don't do that. Most people won't try to, advance their skills or do anything. I'm like, that's good. That's good that you're doing that because tech the money's there. And most people aren't going to use their free time to learn how to code, And if you're doing that, like, kudos to you. Yeah. And that's the type of people who will earn and deserve that luxury because look at the stuff you're doing behind the scenes that you don't see. People don't see that. They see you posting on Instagram. They see you posting on Twitter and flexing your stuff, and they don't see the work that goes behind it. And then they think they're entitled to that same lifestyle. No, you're not. You don't do anything above and beyond, not even for yourself, not even for your health or for anything. You think that you earn that. So I'm against reps. You either got it or you don't. Like, why fake it? Because you're trying. At the end of the day, it's a fake flex. That's really what it is. At the end of the day, it's a fake flex. You're doing it to impress other people and create this image of you that's not real. At the end of the day, you got to go home to your house and to your life, and you know that you're lying. And that belt is not gonna last you. That bag's not gonna last you. Those shoes aren't gonna last you because they're not real. So you did that for what? For the bag to fall apart in a year, And you're just gonna keep buying them. That's wasteful. That's very wasteful. Actually, that's actually so bad for the environment to keep doing that. So,
yep.
That's how I feel about that. People could flame me all you want. I really don't care because that's something I'm forever gonna go stand for. And the thing is, too, people like to say like, oh, a lot of stuff that we wear is like sweatshops and stuff, and like a lot of designer brands. I'm like, I don't know the full details of all these brands, but definitely where those reps are made are sweatshops, for sure.
100%.
So like,
because it's the same factories as
they're taking the scraps and they're going to and pinning together their own stuff, and they have them probably working like crazy because they know the rep market is lucrative. So you not know better. If that's your, because that's what some people's argument. Oh, these designer brands treat their employees like slaves. It's like, what do you think the rep brands are doing? Are you dumb? It's probably worse there.
It's the same companies.
And it's probably worse.
Wait till they find that out, that the people that sell the fake stuff are the ones that make the real stuff too.
Yeah.
It's all the same building.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
But that's people's argument too. They're like, oh, so, that's their argument. It's the same
It's
stuff.
the same stuff. Yeah.
Sometimes,
it
somewhat.
Made the same. Yeah, and that's sometimes. What I'm talking about is called unauthorized pairs or UA pairs. That's something different. Reps usually aren't that though.
Yeah, that's when people like sell them on like the black market almost.
Yeah, the UAs are like they literally made it in the same factory,
but
took the same silhouette and made it.
Or like the sample shoes that like getting thrown out or something that they'll sell. Yeah, but then they'll still be a little bit off to like the real thing.
Yeah.
Or like the authorized pair. But say no to reps. You got it or you don't. That's life. You either got it or you don't. It's not a necessity. Food is a necessity. Clothes is a necessity. Jordans are not a necessity. Louis Vuitton bags are not a necessity. Gucci slides are not a necessity.
Just flex culture in general.
Yeah. You either got it or you don't. You don't earn that. So stop trying to lie to people. Because then you're going to go home to your little house in your car that has 300,000 miles and that's your reality. So stop. And to the young kids, stop. People know you don't got it like that because you were a cashier. Like when I was 16, 17, I was at ShopRite. ShopRite wasn't paying me designer money. Maybe after a month and a half, yeah, I had enough to buy $1,000 bag after like 2 months. So some people might do that, right? They save all their money because you don't have responsibilities back then. But it's like, just earn it. It's so much easier just to have the money and buy stuff comfortably. It's so much easier, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And the stuff lasts. That's the main thing. The stuff lasts. A Louis Vuitton bag will last you centuries. If you put it in a good lighting. Yeah. Store it properly, but yeah.